What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well, and happy Monday. Today we're going to talk about the steps needed to take in order to become a ready-to-sell Medicare agent. We'll get this question all the time from people that maybe just got their license, or maybe they're life insurance agents, but they just don't have any experience in the Medicare business as of yet. It's not quite as simple as filling out a contract and then you're done, like life insurance or another type of insurance. So today we're going to jump right into the steps that you need to take, what it looks like to become a ready-to-sell Medicare agent. So I'm going to start out by saying that, in my opinion, I think that you need to be selling Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage plans. They're two completely different kinds of products, and they're the two different ways that a person on Medicare can go when they turn 65 and get onto Medicare, and I believe that you need to be selling both in 2020 going forward. So because of that, Medicare Advantage and as well as Medicare Part D prescription drug plans are going to require quite a bit of extensive certifications involved, and we're going to talk about that. For most insurance companies that offer Medicare supplements, you can just fill out a contract and you're done, right? You know, the Mutual of Omaha's of the world, Aetna Seniors of the world, Cigna's, companies like that. However, for Medicare Advantage plans, companies like AARP will require you to take their certifications in order to sell their Medicare supplements. So it's just better off to kind of expect that you're going to need to take certifications, and that's what you need to be doing. Now, I'm going to basically take this video from the perspective of someone that just picked up their license, they just passed, and they're getting into the Medicare business and they want to know what to do. So we're going to start right there. First step, if you're just newly licensed, is you have to be picking up your E&O insurance, errors and omissions insurance. If you're not familiar with what E&O insurance is, like I said, it stands for errors and omissions insurance. Typically, most insurance companies, whether you're selling life insurance, Medicare, most insurance companies are going to require errors and omissions insurance in order to cover you in case you make a mistake. Typically, you're going to be required to pick up a minimum of about $1 million worth of coverage, and that will protect you in the event of you make a huge mistake and someone tries to sue you. The insurance companies require this. And typically, depending on where you get your errors and omissions insurance, and sometimes if you're purchasing it the first time around, you can get a pretty significant discount on it. But depending on where you are, the company you buy it through the state is probably going to cost anywhere between $300 to $500 for the year, per year. And this is an ongoing annual cost that you're going to need to pay. Me personally, I have ours through Napa. And I've had mine through Napa ever since I started, and I don't really care if there's anybody better. I just have it because it's something I need to have, and I'm familiar with them, blah, blah, blah. You can pay monthly to get your errors and omissions insurance, but it typically costs a significant amount more than just paying over the course of the whole year. So I typically tell people that you need to expect $400 or $500. Just make sure you have that money to be able to drop on E&O, because without E&O, you're not getting anywhere in the first place. Next, you need to start with the Medicare Advantage certifications. Okay, Medicare Advantage certifications work like this. The first certification, and the Mac Daddy of all certifications that 99% of all Medicare Advantage companies require that you take and pass, is the notorious AHIP certification. AHIP is a third-party company that basically, works with insurance agents, health insurance agents, and the AHIP certification is quite a long certification for most people. There's a 5-module training course you have to go through. It can typically take people multiple hours to go through all 5 modules. And then you have a final exam you need to take, and you must score a 90% or above to pass, and you get 50 questions on your test. Now, I've done a video about this prior, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail other than that, but AHIP street level, basically out of pocket, normally is going to cost $175, and this is also a yearly thing you're going to have to go through. If you purchase your AHIP through one of the insurance companies like a Humana or a United Healthcare or an Aetna or somebody like that, they'll give you a discount typically and bring it down $50. So you only have to pay $125 for your AHIP certification. And there are some incentives with some insurance companies to where if you sell a certain amount for them during the open enrollment period, during AEP, they'll reimburse your AHIP for the next upcoming year, or they'll pay for next year's AHIP for you, whatever the case might be, depending on the company. So that's always nice, and there's always a benefit to look at that when you're picking which company you want to do your AHIP through. Now, AHIP, you get 3 attempts to pass it. Some insurance companies will accept your AHIP if you take 6 attempts to pass it, but a lot of them will still only accept your AHIP if you've taken 3 attempts. If you take 4 attempts to pass it, you might not be able to certify for that insurance company. So just plan on needing to take it and pass it within the 3 tries. And it's going to take some time to study, especially if you're new to the business, but it's something you have to do. If this business were easy, everyone would do it, and you're going to need that to sell Medicare Advantage plans and also Part D prescription drug plans. Once you've passed your AHIP, then you need to make sure that you're contracted with the different Medicare Advantage companies in your state, whichever ones you want to be with. I usually tell people for new agents, you probably want to pick up 4 or 5. And once you're contracted with those Medicare Advantage companies, then you have that Medicare Advantage company's individual certification that you must take and pass. Similar to AHIP, depending on the company, you're usually going to get about 3 to 6 tries. Most of them are going to require test taking involved, but they're much easier to pass than AHIP. If you passed AHIP, you can pass these carrier certifications no problem. They're just a little time consuming. But that is something you have to do before being ready to sell. Some of them are longer than others, some of them are easier than others, but it's something that you have to do in order to be ready to sell Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare Part D prescription drug plans. Next step on the road is to contract for the Medicare supplement companies you want to contract with. Like I said, you just basically want to pick up the contracts through an upline that you trust, and all you have to do is fill out a contract similar to life insurance, and you don't have to worry about that. I typically recommend picking up some kind of ancillary contracts as well, like maybe a hospital indemnity company, some dental, vision, hearing plans, some ancillary products to kind of, balance out your portfolio. And those don't require certifications either. It's just Medicare Advantage companies and Medicare Part D prescription drug plan companies. After you've completed your certifications, it's typically going to take about anywhere between a few days to maybe a week in most cases, in normal situations, and you're going to be given the thumbs up and ready to sell status with that company. Once you have ready to sell status, then you're able to make a sale. Now, it's important that you do training, and hopefully you would have learned a lot of the compliance rules by going through AHIP, and that's kind of the purpose for it. But you need to learn the compliance rules, and you need to have some training, and need to know what you're doing in order to be an effective and competent agent. Not only that, it's important that you get in front of people. So then you start figuring out what your marketing plan is going to be in order to get in front of people. Expect to spend some kind of money, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, if you even wanted to just wet your whistle and kind of get some use over the phone, you could even buy some aged leads for a couple of bucks a piece. You could buy a cold calling list and try cold calling just to make sure you get some experience over the phone. But the next step is just to get in front of people and start selling. All in all, I can accurately predict that for most people, it'll take you about a month in total from the time you start filling out your first contract to being through the certifications and getting ready to sell status. And that's if you're on the ball and you get right on it and you start filling out your contracts, because it basically from the time period that you fill out your contract, you fill out the contract first, then you take AHIP. It's going to take about a week before the contract is processed. Then you take AHIP. That will take, depending on who you are, it can take some time or it can be really fast. And then you have to take the carrier certification. So there's basically different stages to this. I would say give it about a month. If you're not on the ball and you're dragging your feet, it might take more like 2 or 3. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I get asked all the time what the steps are to becoming a Medicare agent, and I'm recording this video, so basically I don't have to type it out anymore. If someone ever messages me, I'm going to send them this video. So if you enjoyed this video, if you have any more future follow-up questions about becoming a Medicare agent, drop a like on the video for me, drop a comment down in the comment section what those questions might be, and subscribe for future 6-figure Medicare agent content. Have a great day. Take care.